Hey everyone, Jeremy Silva again. I just wanted to record this short video so that I can show you specifically the area that I am personally investing in property in. I'm actually meeting with a private money investor hopefully next week and be cutting a check for me so that I can buy about 15 properties, depending on how the final numbers work out, and cash flow them. And I want to see, I want to show you why I'm actually going to be buying 15 properties in one specific neighborhood with money that I'm going to owe back paying interest on and still trust that I can get my return. Because for you, I think if you can see how I can comfortably buy 15, then buying one or two should be a much easier task for you to understand. So what you're looking at right now is a map of the 48224 zip code that I just brought up on Google. And specifically the area that I'm investing in starts above Edsel Ford Highway and comes around here down to Mack Avenue, up towards Outer Drive, right in this vicinity in here. What you can see below where this A is Grosse Pointe, and that's the area that I keep mentioning in some of my videos. You can see it's highlighted right here. This particular listing, where the A is indicated on the Google map, you can type this in right now. It's at 15420 Windmill Point Drive. It's for sale for $7.9 million. And you know, I did pick one of the most expensive ones, but you can see in this neighborhood, all throughout this area, maybe I should switch colors so you can actually see what's going on. Let me just delete this. All throughout this area below Mack Avenue and south is anywhere from 150,000 to 450,000, and as you get closer to this lake area where there's ocean views, you get well over $1 million for these properties. And so you can see that we're investing less than 3 miles from here to here from multi-million-dollar property. And the property that we're buying in this area right here is going for less than $45,000. Sometimes up to 50, depending on the size of the property. But that's including the purchase, that's including the rehab, and next we'll tenant it. And at $45,000, you can cash flow exceptionally well, especially because you're in an area less than 3 miles from multi-million-dollar property where the tenants like the nicer shopping, nicer amenities, better restaurants, stuff to do. And you know, although some of these areas are being affected by foreclosures, when you start to head this way and go towards the heart of the city of Detroit instead of out in the suburbs, you just are fighting an uphill battle. It's much more difficult to get these properties in a position to finance, to refinance, or to even tenant. So that's the area that I'm investing in. If you'd like to invest in this area as well, you like the idea of being within 3 miles of multi-million-dollar property, and understand that when you're holding this property for the long term, collecting cash flow and having the government Section 8 tenants pay for your mortgage, over the next 10 to 15 years, these houses will be the quickest to rise as the Detroit economy goes up. And if you forget Detroit's heyday, Detroit was one of the wealthiest places in the United States. Detroit Motor City, I mean, when you look at what's going on with GM right now, it's no wonder that Detroit has hit rock bottom with employment, and that's why I typically stick with a Section 8 tenant. But it will not be that way forever. This is one of the very few markets in the country that you can actually invest at rock bottom right now. I can't say that for other markets because they're still declining, and they're still in a position where if you do invest, you can set yourself up for failure because they either don't cash flow well enough, the employment is just as bad in some areas, and the Section 8 isn't abundant, or in the future they may go down as opposed to up, where when you're buying property for $30,000, putting $10,000 in rehab, there's not much more that it can go down, especially when financing becomes available for these issues in a wide variety of lenders. Just to rent a property for $1,000, the equivalent is purchasing a property for at least $100,000. So here's the property right here. You can see Windmill Point Drive, $7.9 million. If you Google this address, you can actually see all these photos and how beautiful the property is. This is why I'm investing in this area. This is why I feel that you should invest in this area. And if you'd like to discuss it further, you can call me at 888-620-4733. Until then, make it a great week.